If you ever find yourself at a masquerade ball, dancing with a stranger whose face you cannot see, remember this: sometimes the mask isn't there to hide his identity. Sometimes it's there to hide yours from him, until it's too late for either of you to run. My name is Claire Whitmore. 3 months ago, I was just a 26-year-old event planner living a quiet life in Boston. Tonight, I want to tell you exactly what happened on the night everything changed. The night I danced with the man who had been sent to kill my entire family. Stay until the end, because the ending of this story is not what you think. It started with a black envelope. No return address. No name. Just my address, written in gold ink, sitting on the marble table in the foyer of my parents' estate. My father, Richard Whitmore, was a man who built his fortune in shipping and logistics, the kind of quiet wealth that doesn't make headlines, but opens every door in the city. Inside the envelope was a single card. The Ashcombe Masquerade. Midnight. Come alone. Wear white. I remember laughing when I read it. My father did not laugh. "Don't go," he said, his voice flat in a way I'd never heard before. "It's just a party, Dad." He looked at me for a long moment, like he was trying to decide whether to tell me something. Then he simply said, "Then take Marcus with you." Marcus was our family's head of security. A man built like a mountain, ex-military, quiet, watchful. My father had never assigned him to a party before. Not once in 26 years. That should have been my first warning. It wasn't. The Ashcombe estate looked like something out of another century. Candlelight bouncing off gold-trimmed walls, a live orchestra playing something slow and haunting, and 200 guests in white gowns and black masks, moving like ghosts through the golden light. I lost Marcus in the crowd within 20 minutes. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I was being paranoid. That's when I saw him. He was standing near the far window, completely still while everyone else moved. Tall, dressed in a black suit that fit him too perfectly, like it had been made just for that night. His mask was simple, matte black, covering everything but his jaw and his eyes. And his eyes found mine before I even realized I was staring. He crossed the room like the crowd didn't exist, like they simply parted for him without knowing why. He stopped in front of me and offered his hand without a single word. I should have said no. I have asked myself 100 times since that night why I didn't. But there was something about him, a stillness, a control, that made me feel, for the first time in years, completely safe. I took his hand. We danced for almost 2 hours. He barely spoke. When he did, his voice was low, careful, like every word had been chosen before it left his mouth. He asked about my family, my father's business, where we lived, how many people worked at the estate, what time my parents usually went to bed. At the time, I thought it was flirtation, curiosity, the kind of small talk strangers make when they're testing whether they want to know each other better. I was wrong. He wasn't getting to know me. He was gathering a floor plan. At one point, his hand brushed against my lower back, and I felt something hard beneath his jacket, the unmistakable shape of a weapon holstered against his ribs. I told myself it was a phone. I told myself rich men in Boston carry strange things. I did not let myself think the obvious thought, because the obvious thought was too terrifying to hold. "You dance like someone who's used to being watched," he said quietly close to my ear. "And you dance like someone who's used to disappearing," I answered, only half joking. For just a second, less than a second, something changed behind his mask. A flicker, like I had said something true without meaning to. At 11:58, the orchestra slowed into the final song of the night, and the room began to hush. It's tradition at the Ashcombe Masquerade. At midnight, every guest removes their mask at once. I felt him go still. "We should stop," he said suddenly. "Why? It's just tradition." "Claire." He said my name, my actual name, which I never told him. My blood went cold. The final notes of the song faded. All around us, hands rose to masks. Laughter, gasps, faces revealed under candlelight. He didn't move his hands to his mask. He moved them to my wrists instead, gripping them just tight enough that I couldn't pull away. And that's when I saw it, reflected for half a second in the mirrored wall behind him, the outline of a second man near the exit, watching us, watching him, waiting for a signal. "Don't scream," the masked man whispered. "Not yet. Screaming gets you killed faster. He pulled me gently onto the terrace, away from the crowd, his grip never leaving my wrist. My mind was screaming at me to run, but some instinct, the same instinct that made me take his hand 2 hours earlier, told me to listen first. "Your father," he said, "made a deal 5 years ago with a man named Alexei Rurik. Do you know that name?" I shook my head, terrified. "Your father's shipping company moved something for Rurik. Something that wasn't supposed to be traced back to him. It was traced back to him anyway, because your father kept records. Insurance, he called it." His jaw tightened. Rurik lost everything because of those records. His organization, his freedom. 14 of his men are in federal prison right now because of your father. "That has nothing to do with me," I whispered. "It has everything to do with you," he said. "Rurik doesn't forgive, and he doesn't just take the man who wronged him. He takes everyone that man loves last." My whole body went numb. "You're going to kill my family." He didn't answer. He didn't have to. "There's a man at the north exit," he finally said, "and 2 more in a car outside your parents' estate right now, waiting for confirmation that your family is home. I was supposed to confirm your location tonight. That's what tonight was for, Claire. I was supposed to find you, get close to you, and send the signal." "Then why are you telling me this?" For the first time all night he reached up, slowly, and removed his mask. His face was younger than I expected. Late 20s, maybe 30. Sharp features, a scar above his left eyebrow, and eyes that looked exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with the late hour. "My name is Adrian Cole," he said. "I've worked for Rurik for 6 years. I didn't choose this life. I was recruited out of a foster system that had nothing better to offer a 19-year-old kid with no family and no options. I've done things I can't take back, but I have never, not once, hurt someone who didn't deserve it." "And my family?" "Doesn't deserve it," he said simply. "Your father made a mistake protecting himself. That doesn't make you a target. That makes you collateral. I stopped being able to live with collateral a long time ago." Behind us, through the terrace doors, I saw the second man start moving through the crowd, scanning faces, searching for us. "We don't have much time," Adrian said, his voice sharpening into something more urgent. "You're going to walk back inside, find your security guard, and leave through the kitchen exit, not the front. I'll deal with the man watching the door. When you get home, you call the police, you tell them everything I just told you, and you get your parents somewhere safe tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight." "Why would you do this? You'd be betraying the only people who ever—" "Because somebody has to stop being collateral too," he said. "Tonight, that's me." Everything after that happened too fast to fully remember. Adrian pulled me back through the crowd, his hand firm on my arm, moving with a precision that told me this wasn't the first time he'd navigated a room full of danger. He found Marcus near the coat check and said 4 words to him that I'll never forget. "She's a target. Move." Marcus didn't ask questions. He simply moved. I looked back once, just once, as Marcus pulled me toward the kitchen exit. Adrian was standing near the north door, blocking it, saying something low and controlled to the man who had been watching us all night. I never found out what he said. I never saw Adrian Cole again. We reached my parents' estate 40 minutes later. My father's face went white when I told him everything. Within the hour, private security had doubled, the police had been called, and my parents were on their way to a safe house 2 states away before sunrise. 3 days later, the news broke. Alexei Rurik had been arrested in a federal raid outside Providence, along with several members of his organization. The report mentioned an anonymous tip that led investigators directly to the location. I know who made that call. The police never found anyone matching Adrian's description. No name, no photo, no trace in any database. It's as if the man who saved my family, and betrayed the only life he'd ever known to do it, simply stopped existing the moment he walked away from that terrace. Sometimes, late at night, I think about what he said. Somebody has to stop being collateral too. I don't know if Adrian Cole is his real name. I don't know if he's alive, in hiding, or if Rurik's people ever found him. But I know this. The man who was sent to end my family's life chose, in one single night, to become the reason we're still breathing. If you ever go to a masquerade and a stranger asks you to dance, look closely at his eyes before you take his hand. Sometimes the danger is exactly what it looks like, and sometimes the monster in the mask is the only one standing between you and something far worse. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because next week, I'm telling you what really happened the night the police finally caught up with Alexei Rurik's last remaining man, and why he was waiting for me.